All right already. All right. Let's do this. Let's get going. Let's make something happen. It's today. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is December 17th, 2024, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? Let me say hello and welcome everybody in. There we are. Hello. Let me scroll to the top. We're broadcasting live here on Twitch and YouTube, so you can watch us wherever makes you happy. You want to put us on the big screen TV, go for it. That's great. Weird Beard Dev, happy Tuesday to you. C Sharp Titan, greetings to you in Melbourne. Chris Jones is here. Hello. The category is disappearing. It looks like it's a Restream thing. Restream isn't carrying through the category that we select. And it's, yeah, they don't have Twitch categories over on Restream. The content type that they have that pops up there doesn't line up with the Twitch categories. So it looks like that's what happens is when I set the title, it wipes the category. When I reset the category and then go live, it wipes the category again. So, hey, Surly Dev, good to see you. Hello. Phil Vesey, welcome. Smirking Squiggly with a big wave. Hey there, Alpha Gamer 78. Hello, Napalm Codes. How's it going there? Good morning. So, we've been working through building a plugin system for SharpSite. And this has been, yesterday we ran into some very interesting and very odd behavior around uploading files to a Blazor server interactive website. And quite frankly, we don't know why it's happening. We can't figure out why it's happening. We know that if we clean and rebuild at the command line after making a change somewhere in the plugin subsystem, it starts working again. But if I make a change and I don't rebuild at the command line, it will break on every time that somebody tries to do a file upload. And this could become contentious and could become a real problem when we want to start allowing folks to embed images in pages and blog posts, which is something we have set up for the next milestone. Today, though, we're going to try and finish milestone 0.4, which has a number of things remaining that are going to help with a little bit of DevOps. But before I get to that, chat room, you've been busy. There's a couple pull requests here that we'll review. We'll talk a little bit about, and we'll decide to merge or to provide some feedback. And if there's anything we need to reject, we'll go through and discuss that here on the stream today. Let me get the music playing here. I see a couple messages in chat room. I'm going to go with the synthwave playlist, so it's just kind of groovy, hanging out here, and we'll have a good time together. Let's start down here. This seems a little appropriate. This is a song called Occam's Razor. It's supposed to appear right there. I point to you right there, and you pop up. It should be. This is music from Stream Beats. It's royalty free. It's DMCA free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Check it out at streambeats.com. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music we're listening to today. Maybe we should create our own Restream app? No. We built something like that for the first Live Coders conference. It's actually not too hard because the RTMP relay isn't it's actually quite cheap to build. It's a question of all of the network traffic that routes through it. Is that something that I could install and run locally on my little Synology server? Maybe. There are some other folks that have built similar little you stream it yourself appliances. I would defer to one of those first, but building something like that can deliver video, I mean, then we can inject all kinds of things to analyze video. Could be intriguing, but I would defer right now to some of these things that other folks have built. C Sharp Titan asks, when will I do the Die Hard Christmas story reading? I'm looking at Monday next week. I'm looking at Monday the 23rd. I think we'll do it then. So my goals here today, I can only stream until about noon my time, so that's about another 2.5 hours. I have a timer on my phone here in front of me. I want to review the pull requests that were submitted, talk about those, talk about the other changes that I made yesterday in an effort to get caching running inside our GitHub actions to hopefully speed them up a little bit. I want to try to hammer out these last couple items in the 0.4 milestone, drop a release, and then hopefully get into and talk about building a little bit more on our localization translation side tool that I've been building that's going to hopefully do translations with Azure OpenAI. It's a lot. It is. Not going to lie. We'll see if we get there. There's a lot to talk about. Let me get right into it. How you doing, Land of the Elite? Good to see you. Let me head over here to the code, and we can dive in. We can start talking about this. I took off my Marin glasses downstairs and left them on the kitchen table. Well, I guess we're going to wear the Razor torpedoes then today. A handful of pull requests open. Get post date string parsing, packages lock JSON added to get ignore, and localize plugin card component. The third one, the localize, is the one. How you doing there, hat stand? That's something else that I want to try and work on this week, is fixing this. Because I think we can do a better job with some of the new tools that are available. Yeah, see, it can't identify. It's my Vegas Golden Knights hat. It does know what this hat is, but for some reason, it is being grouchy about it. So, the bottom one there, the localization, is absolutely something that is kind of assigned. These other ones look like bug fixes. So let's take a look at this, localizing the plugin card component. No comments here. And taking a look here, there's a localization for the plugin icon, the update button, the remove button. And there's entries in Bulgarian. I see it removing content. I don't see it adding content. And there we go. Add new plugin here for shared resource. For the English, update, remove icon of the plugin. Okay. Shared resource resx. Adding entries for Swahili. Updating home. Edits. Wait a sec. These two changed places. Okay, these just moved around. New page is down here. Edit was over here, and it's the same value. Home was over. That feels like an editor change that happened. Sharp name, sharp site update. Back to home. I'm not sure that's right. Otherwise, this looks fine. I'm going to merge this in. So that gets merged into our 0.4 branch, which has this pull request for the release train that has all the features that we're going to merge all at once into main. Just looking at your Twitch recap, can't guess your most watched streamer. Bald bearded builder. Joystick Nick. You're trying to plan out 2025 by picking a programming language that'll give me the best chance for employment. Doing a lot of research. It's not a clear decision so far. What languages do you know, and which ones are you trying to consider? Hey, Codebase Alpha, deploying 26 containers into Azure using .NET Aspire and AZD. Wow, Codebase Alpha. That sounds pretty cool. Me? It was me? Hat stand, it was me? Oh, that's so kind. I'm flattered. So flattered. We need more people watching that Joystick Nick, let me tell you. Creative guy that needs a little bit more support. Let's take a look at this one from Default Writer. Adding packages lock JSON to git ignore. Here's the thing. And there's no comments on this. And I don't see any issues or discussion. I wanted to add caching. One of the things that I added was a bit of caching to the GitHub workflow. So that when the build happens, jump over to the new one. The packages get cached by the GitHub action. So when it builds, it runs faster because it's pulling the builds out of cache, pulling the dependencies out of cache. So here, right, the restored dependencies took 2 seconds to go pull everything, right? When it did the setup.net, see, it has the 8011, but I'm requesting 90100 here. Let me turn off the keyboard cam for just a little bit. So there's 2 seconds here of restoring dependencies. Previously, no, that's still, let me go further down here. Was 11 seconds. So we've cut it down significantly. In the NPM world, it's very important. Plugins as card on plugin list. 9 seconds there. So to cut it down to 2 seconds, to cut it by 80%, pretty good. That's a pretty good thing. There is no .NET 8 dependency. .NET 8 just happens to be the version that's that is available on that setup.net action. It's the version that's already there. Can we clean that up? Can we get rid of that? Well, here's the deal. I'm not requesting it. I'm saying go use the global JSON file to go load it. So the LTS is .NET 8, and it's kind of along for the ride right now. I'd love to figure out a way to cut that back, but I think we've optimized this pretty good. So the question is, what's the issue here? Why remove packages lock JSON? It's been added to help with with build processes. Like, this is a little bit of bad form here. Creating a pull request for something that isn't requested, doesn't have a fix or a description listed, and a whole bunch of merge issues here. What's going on? We need a little bit of description so we can understand what you're trying to solve and why we should consider this. There isn't an issue over here that describes a problem that we can point to and say, yeah, that's broken. That's something that's not behaving correctly. Or a discussion where we're trying to figure out and decide how to improve something. So, love the Aspire dashboard gets deployed to Azure as a bonus. It doesn't have to get deployed. You can turn that off, but it is available. You know Python, you've been a bit into C# and C++. Trying to avoid JavaScript, TypeScript. I would choose Java. I would choose Java. Of those four, Java has from what I've seen, the most enterprise use. Right, the whole point of including the lock file is that it pins versions of the various packages. There's a problem with the lock file for Aspire hosting. Aspire hosting has package references that are specific to the Windows runtime identifier. When you try to restore those on a Linux system, like here, doesn't work. Or on one of your machines, won't work. So that's something. EF fails to check on migrations. Let's take a look at that in a second here. I want to finish reviewing here, so need a little bit more detail as to what's going on there. Fix get post date string parsing. I created a post, tried to navigate to it, but was greeted by post and not found. I noticed this while debugging in the immediate window. 1217, 1217, 1217. UTC date time 1216. Time zone seems to roll the UTC date to the previous day. So we need to pick a time zone for the date that gets saved to the database. Assume universal. That makes sense. Okay. Assume that the date time being passed in is universal. That makes sense. I'm good with this change. Hello, I clicked. You should navigate. Thank you. Sure, go ahead up. Okay. That's fine. Squash and merge. Thanks for catching this issue. There we go. And that's dgen 1 with this one. Something's running slow on GitHub. And do I have dgen 1? I think I already have them listed as a code contributor. Yep, there we go. Yeah, what's going on here? There's the build. Okay, look at that. It's already done. Imagine using .NET on the channel. Ooh, I have a call coming. I need to take 1 second, 1 second. That was what I've got. What I was expecting to hear.
Now we know.
Are you kidding?
And
I picked
knowing
it up
is
that
half the
time?
battle.
Wow. All right. Let me see here. Let me catch up. That's a mechanic working on the car today. How you doing there, Eric? Hey, still Garf. The community MVVM package? Yeah? What's going on there? All the pre-Christmas release commits and releases. Yeah, something's slowing down over on GitHub. Don't know what it is. Once said after a Java class in college, you'd never program in Java ever again. Now it's a consideration because of how many jobs. Yeah. C# is right there. It's, well, the same thing with pretty much any of any programming language, knowing the various tools and frameworks that go along with knowing that language. Knowing the language is one thing. How to use that language is more. You got the pink unicorn? All right. All right, what's up here, GitHub? You're going to make my GitHub-centric day here go a lot slower on stream. We're all green. We'll see about that. There is no email sender registered. There is. Let me take a look here at MDE Bruins here. Entity Framework fails to check on migrations. That's right. It does fail the first time when there is no database. it doesn't find that because there isn't one, and it goes and creates all of it. Let's take a quick peek at this. What? I'm on the 04. Let me do a pull upstream on this. Let's make sure I have all the latest goodies. And I'm going to change... no, not that one. It's like Postgres extensions. This one. I'm going to change the database. So it's going to a brand new... whatever. Brand new empty volume on disk. It's supposed to throw that error when there's nothing in the database. It'll go and build it at that point. Is what's expected to happen there. Close that. Don't need that one. So let's take a peek. We're in an ad break briefly here. That's okay. So here's the project running, doing migrations, and it says 2 errors. And when you look at these, right, if we actually, right here, select migration product, because if we take a look, it failed because it doesn't exist yet. When pgadmin finishes loading here, we'll drop in there. Hey, MixM, how you doing? Right? GitHub should be following me, and they would have known this is happening. There you go. There's sharp sites, schemas. They're all there. All the tables are there, including the new migration history tables, appropriate for both the security and the couple of tables that we need for managing pages and posts. So that is a expected error. This is an expected error with a new database after migration. After the migration service completes for the first time, this error will not reoccur in future runs of the application system. And there we go. I didn't want to close it as completed. Ah, there we go. There goes GitHub. Yeah. Now I'm getting the pink unicorn. Lucky me. And the other issue that was raised is there any way in Aspire to tell other apps to wait on the database service being up first? Yes. Hey, Eddie Dre. Hello. No email sender type registered. There is. What you can do that in order to tell, in order to answer Eric's question, to tell Aspire, in Aspire, tell components to wait for other components. Starting with .NET 9, there is a wait for method that you can execute here. So here's the database server starting, and then I'm defining the migration service. But the migration service needs to wait for the database server to be running first. Okay? So it's getting a reference to the database, and it's also being told, wait for the database server to be running. Once that's healthy, then you can start the migration service. Similarly, and you can see this in the source code for, you are more than welcome to look at the source code for SharpSite. Here's the website. The website should wait for the migration service. I didn't tell the website to also wait for the database because the migration service is already waiting for the database. So I'm getting that transitive wait for, if that's a thing. Ames Backett, hey, how you doing there? DGen1, hello, thank you for the pull request. Looks like GitHub is going to sleep on us here. Looks like GitHub's having an issue and not being entirely truthful about this. Let's go over here. Yeah, GitHub looks like it's having a little bit of an issue. No. No. Looks like we're seeing some slowness and unicorns in the US region. Judging by the reports, it's a global outage. Okay. Just got back from Memphis, St. Jude campus. Oh, you went to St. Jude. Oh my gosh, it is. Eddie, it is. I've been to St. Jude. I've been fortunate to be invited to St. Jude a few times. It's an amazing place. It's an inspiring place. It tugs on your heartstrings when you walk around that place. It's because everyone's on break. No. That's there we go. Getting click error when clicking register on new user. Cannot provide a value for property email sender. There is no registered type of email sender PG SharpSite user. Thank you for the follow. I'm getting transitive wait for from the migrations waiting for the database. But isn't there a case for defining the website to wait for the database? Sure, but the website really shouldn't start until the database is updated with the latest patches anyway, right? This looks like something that shouldn't be happening. Here. I email sender. He's right. It's the wrong email sender type. And it's being requested by what? It's not clear what page this is. But something's requesting... let's see. Something's requesting that one. No. I could move this. Right into here. No. Identity no op email sender. Where is that? Identity. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to bring that one over. First things first, redo that deal. And let's make it one of these. Good. You were there helping with the 2-day charity marathon. Ben's a great guy. Fantastic guy. I've met him a few times. He has no idea who I am. But fantastic guy. Really, really does a lot for that charity. Nope, it's not just you. Yep. Is it coming back with a status that it's down? Yep, there we go. Issues is degraded. You get more than that. When clicking register user. And going through this. Some of these pages are still kind of still kind of in a lame state that we'll want to improve. No, I don't want you filling that. Vom? Thank you. That's a great suggestion. No. Display name needs to be filled in. Okay. So we need display name on the register page. We'll fix this. The input model is down here. No. Ta-da. Okay. And let's just copy this. Right there. Right there. And where was the error? User equals create user. Mm-hmm. User display name equals that. That should do it. Depends on if the database is backwards compatible. Let me come back. Makes you want to do more when you get home. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely does. All right, so let's try, no. Register as a new user. Really? What do we break on now? Yes, that's doing a redirect. That's expected. So registration confirmation, click here to confirm. When there's an email sender attached, it'll work properly. So now if I go to log in, what the heck? I don't like how you're taking that over LastPass. Navigation exception, that's to be expected. I don't like it. Why isn't there any content? Now, it's not showing the display name here. Why didn't it save that? Take a peek over here and see if it actually wrote it. That's not it. This one. Tables. Users. There's display name. So it's not bringing it back on the profile page properly. That's account manage. Let's go fix that real quick. I thought this stuff worked. Account manage. Which one's the... /account/manage. Account. Oh. Display name. That should go into, yeah, input display name, user display name. And your, why, user display name, it's right there. Why aren't you showing it? Huh? What a break there. Refresh that again. There's input, and display name is empty. It is empty string, so it isn't assigning it. You're right. There it is. That's fine. Oh, because I started a new database, that's why. Okay. Well, that's fixed. Git checkout. Fix, fix registration. Sharp site, security, Postgres. This is the one that should be excluded. I could see that one getting in the git ignore. Fixed issues with new logins. And we'll get that. So this is 152. Registration. Let's see what Copilot. I don't want a review. No, I wanted a description. Let me catch up here. Hey, Christopher LeBron. Fix on YouTube asks, do I prefer working more front end, back end, or full stack? Full stack. What are we looking at today? We're cleaning up some issues. I don't need links to all of the descriptions. Thanks so much. And we're hopefully going to push through. final few updates here. Thanks, Tolas. Yeah, you're right. Auth and container apps? Not quite there. Interesting, it's not building. Why isn't it building? Can I cancel this? Cancel that. No. I didn't want it to Copilot to do a review. Now I can't. It should update. There's the build going. Take a look. I mean, the build should be 30 seconds done. Yeah. Restore dependencies, that time took 11 seconds. Oh look, Copilot reviewed. Low risk. Low confidence. Fine. So 152. Yep. And restored and updated Dutch translations from MDE Bruin. Yeah, that app host one. I think we need to update the git ignore to remove that one. Yep, there's the mention about default user in contributing. Cool. No conflicts with the base branch, but yeah. All contributors. Please add MDE Bruin or code. It's running slow. Thanks for the update. I appreciate helping with the translations. Do the squash. It didn't merge. Oh no, it did. Space Shot!
Space Shot just resubscribed for 65 months.
Thank you so much. 65 months with us. Much appreciate that support. I think this is trying to only do that one in app host. But it's excluding all of them. Exclude the Aspire package lock JSON. So it's, where is it? Package lock JSON. removed aspire package lock JSON. Why isn't it? Should have ignored that one. Sharp site, app host, packages. Yeah, there it is. Fine. No. I've added the app host. Packages lock JSON to the git ignore. Hey, it was great to see you at Philly.net the other night. So we had a good time with that meetup. So we're good there. The release train here. That's what I like to see. Restore dependencies, 2 seconds. This one I'd love to get the .NET install. Love to get that simplified, but it's buried in the setup.net here. Is there anything we can do with that? GitHub action setup.net. Registering problem matchers for error output, setting up authentication, usage. Really? Can read the .NET SDK version from global JSON. Input global JSON file is used for specifying the path for global JSON. If the file was supplied to global JSON file input doesn't exist, action will fail. That's fine. Caching NuGet packages is what I did. I did all of this stuff in here. I don't want a matrix strategy. Don't need authentication. Outputs the .NET version. Why is it still installing .NET 8? Like, don't need to be looking in that folder right now. There's global JSON. 90100. I'm not going to get it wound up on this. let's see if we can close out the last couple items that we wanted to do here. 3 open items. Improve the look of the add plugin page, which Waleed has here. Waleed Shoab. Post pages should include some initial meta tags. We can probably hammer that out real quick. Create a release process that delivers a container to a GitHub registry. This is one that we can probably move on. I'm going to push this out to 0.5, so I'm not waiting on it. We can do the initial meta tags, and we can probably hammer this one out real quick here. So let's start with some initial meta tags. Some default metadata about the post. So let's create a branch. Not .NET. Git checkout. Create that feature branch. Feature post meta. Whoa. So, what do you have planned for Christmas, chat room? What do you have planned for your end of the year holidays? Anything fun? Anything interesting? We'll set up this pull request. Add metadata to the post pages. Yeah, post pages should include some initial meta tags. There we go. Draft PR. No, that's not where it goes. No. Try that again. Compare across forks. It's coming from mine. I've got some other branches there to delete. Going into 0.4. I can't delete a pull request. Fine. Don't need this. Don't need that. All right. So, websites, right, have metadata that they share head content. There it is. They share that has information about the content of their page, right? For the Open Graph to read and bring in. Not quite. Gonna go visit a judge. Oh my gosh, that's great. Family time? Yeah, absolutely. Coding, baking, and coding. Okay. There's a TikTok that I picked up on. That teaches how to make Brazilian cheese bread. And yes, I made Brazilian cheese bread to go with. I made it to go with some chili last week, And it was so good that I made it again Sunday night to go with, is this it? No, that's just an image. I made it to go with a typical chicken dinner, and it was Sunday night, and it was so good, so easy to make. Hey, how you doing there, Lucy? Let's see what we can get Copilot to add for us. Add typical OG and social media meta tags for discovery. Let's just say that. Let's see what Copilot adds for us. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Can't go wrong with that. Post title. That's a good one. Description. Post description. That's we need to put a question mark on that, John. Do we have an image? We don't have an image. We don't have an image yet. Right, we can do those. What else do we got? I'm going to let you put that even though we don't have a thing there yet. We don't have navigation manager here. So I don't mind adding it. Oh, come on. You just were suggesting it. Thank you. You want to suggest something else? I wouldn't mind. Type as an article? Sure. What else do we got? Site name. That's not a thing yet, but we'll remove that. Locale. No, that's not a thing yet either. Or an alternate locale? No. Twitter card summary? Yeah, there we go. I don't know what the site is. No more? Creator? We don't... Title? Yes. Description? Yes. We don't have an image. URI? Absolutely. Label 1 is... that a thing? I guess that's alright. Anything else you want to suggest? Author? Author. Okay, that's good. We don't have an author yet. Let's do this. I'll let it finish suggesting things. Category? Sure. Category. We don't have a category either. Tags? I'm going to let you keep running your mouth here, even though this stuff isn't a thing here. Keywords? We don't have keywords. I've already got description up there. You don't need to add description again. You know. Oh, okay. That's enough with you. These I'm going to delete. These I'm going to comment out because they feel like a good thing to eventually add. But we don't have it yet. We don't have an image for the post, so these don't exist. But that's probably pretty good. Oh, shoot. That shouldn't have been in there. Poggers for Copilot. Yeah, Copilot did pretty good there. Algebra. NVIDIA introduced Jetson. Okay. World's most affordable generative AI computer. I'm starting to get more concerns with some of the places folks are going with AI. I'm getting concerns. There's first post. And for some reason, I don't have a name. That's interesting. Yes. Because I'm logged in from the previous install. The previous database configuration. Yeah, there we go. There I am as administrator. First post, and if we look at... Right, we should have... So here's our metadata. Jens! Thank you for the
Jens Woes just resubscribed for 37 months. World's most affordable C# channel. Less than 3.
Thank you. There's the description, the URL, type. I think the description... Is the description being escaped properly? I think it is. Card's a summary. The site name, we're going to need to do something with that. Creator, I don't know what the creator tag is. That's fine, that's fine. Published, we don't have a label for that. You go away. Where was it? Post page. I don't think we want a localization for that. The site name and the creator. What is Twitter site meta tag? Tell me what you got there. The Twitter handle of the website. Twitter creator is the handle of the content creator. Okay. I'm going to comment these out for now because we don't have those. Site is the Twitter handle of the site. Creator is the Twitter handle of the author. We don't have an author associated yet. So configuring those things, not built yet, not something that I'm going to build right now. And we'll get that improved in the future. Site name, locale, and alternate locale. We don't... These. We don't have those. Nope, you took too much. This should be replaced with a name the site admin gives to this site. There, that's gone. Okay. What do we got here? Do I use WebSockets for real-time updates of the status on my page? What page? What page, Algebra? Would it make sense to extract the metadata logic into some kind of abstraction so it can be overridden later with like a plugin? The metadata for a post is pretty unique to a post. I don't want to over optimize. At some point, you're probably right. Is it mix max? You're probably right. I don't want to over optimize that just yet. It's not off the table. But for now, getting just an initial block working, let's push this. Added metadata for the post page. And I fixed that extension where I had the wrong content. Here. You're not giving me an option to create a pull request? This one? Into 04? Yep. Add metadata to the post page. Wait. No. This one. See, I wish I could delete that other PR. Firefox better than Brave? I've been using Firefox for years and years. .NET cache is not found, so it rebuilt the cache. So that one took longer because it rebuilt cache. GitHub's been having issues today. Yeah, it has. And we've got a green check now. Issue operating normally. So that one took longer, but it said it didn't find the cache, so it did the full restore here. Built successfully. Of course it did. That takes care of that. Yep. Delete that branch. And that leaves me with... This should be closed. Yeah. Last item here. Let's start creating containers for SharpSite. It's not necessarily going to be a complete running container just yet because it needs to get information about the Postgres location. Some packages in SharpSite are a bit outdated, the MarkDig packages and OpenTelemetry stuff. Let's do that in the next milestone. Update packages. Update .NET dependencies to latest packages. Occasional task to be that improves the health of our project. Whatever. And we'll include that in the next milestone. Good point, Mythin. And we can run some updates on those. Am I planning to get Dependabot going? We can turn it on. Shoot. Dependabot. Receive alerts for vulnerabilities that affect. Yep. We can. Wait. Did I just. Dependabot alerts. Receive alerts for vulnerabilities. Sure. Dependabot security updates. Automatically attempting to open pull requests to resolve every open Dependabot alert. Sure. Grouping security updates? Yep, go ahead, do that. Version updates? No. Code QL analysis. Identify vulnerabilities. Copilot autofix. No. Autofix for third-party tools. It says on. Yeah, turn that on. I don't want anybody inadvertently pushing code that has passwords in it. Yep. Go ahead. Okay. Oh. Go to pick up my phone to do the two-factor, and Mrs. C# Fritz texts me. There we go. Okay. It's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. All right, I've got a little more than an hour left that we can work on this, and I want to get that container being built. You've been a bit reluctant on contributing to the C# part, but trying out where you can. Hey, that's fine. Not a problem. Want to generate a GitHub action to package as a container, and where is it? There is repositories here. There is a way to do it. Yeah, packages. There we go. Yeah. So we can push packages here. Dear Lord, it hasn't been since 2020. Nope, that's not it. How you doing there? Let's set the project command. Adding features to, this is called SharpSite. This is a content management system that we're building based on our experiences with WordPress, but we're building it with Blazor, and we're taking some approaches to make it really easy for anybody to use. And you can learn more about it. This is a completely open source project, and I encourage folks in chat to download the source code if you'd like. There we go. Now there's the link in chat. Download the source code, open pull requests, ask questions, open issues, comment on other issues. This is not your typical sit back and watch a stream. This is a stream that you can participate in. Is this project because the world needs it, or because it's a fun toy to play with and learn? Saying that the world needs something is a bit... egotistical. If I was inventing something that the world needs and I was building and delivering it, I wouldn't do it on a live stream. Does the world need it? I think the world needs an alternative to WordPress, yes. Given the turmoil that the current administration of Automatic is going through, yes. Is it a fun exercise to learn from? Yes. But is it something that the world needs? That's up for someone else to judge. I want a better content management system than WordPress that runs on my favorite technology. Sure. That's easy to use, configure, and roll out for other folks. Yes. And it is a good learning experience. I mean, right, we built an entire plugin management system here over the last few days that's really, really cool. And should grow and mature, right? I mean, we have just a proof of concept that, hey, you can upload themes to it. But it should grow and mature and turn into something that I think is going to become extremely valuable for folks to learn from, certainly. The world usually doesn't need something until it's discovered. Okay. There's a lot we need to clean up here on the README. I'm going to put a new issue here. And this will be another chore. Update. Repository README. Ugh. Are there still projects out here? No, there's no projects. But for some reason it still shows projects. I don't know why. No matter. Alright. I want a publish script that only runs when pushing to main. That creates a container. Best ways to learn is to build something, yep, that is not a hello world. Totally. the answer I gave was that there was right now WordPress is suffering from a lot of issues from the company and the leadership of the company that manages the source code. It's fractured their community in a bad way. It's a fantastic tool, but I'd like a similarly capable content management system that's built with my favorite technology, Blazor C#, runs cross-platform, and has a rich plug-in ecosystem. So we started building, and we've got a prototype for a plug-in manager that's part of this. We've got the basic other things that everybody builds, posts and pages and these types of things. But we're building and growing this in a way that it's going to be very easy for anybody to manage this type of application. Regarding .NET Aspire, do I know what pricing tier of Azure Container Apps it's using? There are no tiers. Azure Container Apps is just, here's how much you're using, and that's what you get. Azure, and even then, that's if you decide to deploy with .NET Aspire to Azure. You can deploy with .NET Aspire to anything you want. Azure Container Apps pricing. So if you do, that's not it. If you do deploy to Azure Container Apps, there's a pay-as-you-go, there's a 1-year commitment, a 3-year commitment. It's on the pay-as-you-go. And it'd be nice if that was not in per second, but in, right, 40 million requests at 40 cents. I'm sorry, 1 million requests at 40 cents. So you can get dedicated plans, but it's pay-as-you-go. It's not dedicated plan. It's strictly, when you upload and you use the tools, it publishes as a pay-as-you-go instance if you use Azure Container Apps. Like I said, there are plugins for .NET Aspire so that you can deploy and run it on AWS. You can run it on a bunch of different, you can run it on Kubernetes, and heck, you can just build and deploy the way that you were before. So, you wish GitHub projects are made for Agile like Azure DevOps? Well, you can do, right? If you create a project, I mean, you get a Kanban board and stuff to work with here. And it does integrate pretty nicely. Yeah, look, there they are. Get rid of these things. I can't delete them, can I? No. Danger zone. There we go. Delete this project. Please type this to confirm. Okay. I started creating this project, but I don't like... I like just working through on milestones. So, I don't need a full Kanban board to do all this stuff. That's what I was looking for. Cool. I should get rid of the Stream Deck stuff there. I haven't touched that in 4 years? 5 years? Wow, that's a long time. All right, how do I set up a GitHub action to build a container and publish it? Used to be heavily embedded in the WordPress community ecosystem. Yeah, it's a shame what they've done with that. Walking the talk is also great. Get a great experience. Yeah. If so that's why if you take a look at, and I was really thinking about pulling the plugin mechanisms out of here. I'm on main. I was really thinking about pulling that out into a separate project so that we could unit test these things. Plugin manager, application state, pull those out into a shared library to make this a little bit more testable. And then start to introduce some tests. Application state, plugin manager go hand in hand, and then there's a series of admin pages that are driving that. These three right here. But that's where the interesting bits are. Can't I look at the action in Tags app as a start? Tags app, does Tags app build a container? I don't think it builds a container. But I can... There's Playwright. Yeah, there's building the image. Then Docker log into GitHub. And then publish as the container down here at the bottom. And it's using NerdBank GitHub Git versioning here. So we can definitely use that. The yeah, the AZD infrasynth steps. They work. There's some stuff around managing the secrets in there that gets a little hairy. Hey, McNats. I think I want to copy in the same thing. So if we're either pushing the button or it's a push to main for the Fritz and friends. Login. Now comes the question of versioning. How do I do versioning? What's the YAML file about? Yeah, GitHub Actions. And look, I'm caching the NuGet packages. Like, do I really need to do this complete rebuild? No, because it's in release configuration. This isn't ready for folks to download as a container yet. It's not. I'm gonna postpone that issue indefinitely. That's a little bit. Too early. Not ready for users to start downloading and using yet. Yeah, it's just too early. The YAML file describes a GitHub action, and GitHub action is a script that's defined in YAML syntax that has a series of different actions and steps that are part of it that will go through and perform automated tasks depending on interactions with the repository. So we have, and you can see in the repository, if you head over here to the code branch, there is in the GitHub workflows folder, there are two sets of actions. Translate is disabled right now, but .NET Build is where we define how our application is going to be built on every, in this case, when we push to the main branch and when we open a pull request. Interesting, pull request should be on all branches. There it is. So it has a job. The one job that's inside of it right now is called build, and it runs on an Ubuntu system on a Linux machine. Sets up an environment variable for a location for NuGet packages, checks out my source code, sets up .NET as needed in there, but it sets it up based on a global JSON file that specifies the version in there. We know what global JSON is. We're going to cache the dependencies, and we're going to cache them based on the packages locked JSON files. We're going to restore those dependencies, and we're going to build. That's it. There are no unit tests in this process yet. That's what GitHub Actions is. But with moving that last item out, I've technically closed 0.4 here. So we can close that, and we can mark the release. Release in, right? So let's do that. Git checkout main, what? Yeah, go away. You're misbehaving over here, stop. That's fine. I'm gonna run a git pull. Yep, delete those extra branches. What branches do I have here locally? Let's clean up those that I just did. Fix for registration. Jump back over to, hang on. What remote branches do we have? Let's get rid of those out on my repository while we're here. Yeah, I know it's not there. Three branches. Let's clean up those other ones that we don't need. You. Good. Good. I know there's a way to delete them and update them. Jump over to the 0.4. What tags do I have? There we go. Git tag v 0.4. All right, and we have a tag. Go over to the release train. Everything's built. One commit behind. What's that one commit? Add default user to the contributing doc. That's fine. All set to go. Ready, chat room? There's all our co-authors helped out along the way here. There we go. .4 is in. I'll delete that branch. And now if I head over here, we've got 4 tags. There's V04. It is rebuilding the main branch right now. So everything's ready to go, and job well done. So there we go. Let me come back to your question in just a second here while I do just a little bit of cleanup here. We're going to create a new branch for the next block of work that we're working on, 0.5. And now the work that we do for the next version, we will keep in that 0.5. Yeah, it won't let me do anything here yet because there's no files in that branch. So, now, when I open a pull request, does that mean when you push stuff from dev machine to GitHub? Are these actions like build running on your Azure servers or GitHub servers? I got to take this phone call. 1 sec. Home heating oil. Okay. So let me see if I can clear up a little bit of the questions here. When I say open a pull request, so in GitHub terms, in Git terms, when you share source code and you want to make your source code changes available to somebody else, you want that other repository to pull in those changes. So that request to tell that other repository, hey, pull in my changes. I have updates for you. That action, that piece of documentation that links together those two repositories is called a pull request. So when you open a pull request or a PR, you're asking that central repository in this case, and I've linked it there at the top of chat on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, it's in the description just below. That pull request is me asking the central Fritz and Friends SharpSite repository, hey, I have an update here, and here's some documentation to go with it. This update addresses this issue, fixes this bug, completes this feature that we have planned. That bit of documentation flows with it, so that, like you just saw me do, we closed a larger pull request that was the description of all the things that we wrapped up and we declared as the 0.4 milestone. So, right, that was a great way for us. And here, I'll go back and show you on GitHub. Right, so I'll take the open filter out of there. So here's the release train is the way that Microsoft folks describe this. So right, these are all the features with links to the description of that feature, but these are all the bits of work that were done, and you see icons, avatars for the various folks that contributed. So it ends up as this nice audit trail of here's what was included in this patch, right? And then it was merged in. So now, right, these are all the individual actions that were taken. And when we go over here to our code and we look at zoom out. Here we go. We look at the list of commits. There's only one commit, and it's for that entire release. And you see here's the folks that worked on it, and I can click into that, and I can see all the files that were changed, right? When I look at that individual commit, or I can click into the 101, and I've got this documentation that follows along and shows here's where every line of code came from, here's who updated it, here are the various steps that we went through to make it clear and provide that audit trail of exactly what happened. So, are the actions, so GitHub actions, it's a build running on GitHub servers. It's running that build in a shared, isolated place so that we get confirmation that GitHub, we get confirmation that a third party, right, a standard, always running party, ensures that the code runs properly. So, what is my best solo-coded app in production, asks Fighting Chess. We built an app called Tags App. We use it for .NET Conf, and it makes messages like your messages in chat visible on a giant dashboard that hosts are able to go through and interact with and address and discuss. If you consider the number of folks whose messages are collected and presented as users of that application because they're sending their messages to be presented over there, hundreds of thousands of users. And it was used during .NET Conf. So we can go over here and we can go into the playlists, for .NET Conf. Hey, there's Maddie. If we go to the full, let me see. Day one. There we go. That's it right there. That's TagZap. And for the purposes of .NET Conf, let's go to day 2. And I'm just going to pick somewhere here. I don't know where. There you go. You can see behind Katie and, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. And Matt here. You can see TagZap running on the board. It pulled from YouTube. It pulled from X. It pulled from Blue Sky, Twitch. There were even messages that were being uploaded from our website. There were 6 different sources of messages that were being brought in from all over the internet. And it was all aggregated and presented on this screen for hosts to interact with and share with the various speakers. So here they're relaying questions. There's the zoom in question from YouTube from this person. I have other sites out there that are running. We have aspirify.net. That is, of course, your news hub for all things .NET Aspire. Some cool new things that were added recently. An interview with me on the Azure and DevOps podcast. This is cool. An immersive APM that uses .NET Aspire. This was pretty cool from the folks from Immersive Fusion. Tips to add SQL Server databases with seed data. So this is built with .NET Aspire. We built this live on stream. Yeah. You can hear again? What happened? Is this dude asleep? Who? Who's asleep? Hat recognition one is one of the best. Yeah, okay, so there's the hat recognition bot that's hanging out here, right? That takes a picture of the hat and
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
shows you right there in chat. It's my Vegas Golden Knights hat from 2021. It is better than emailing code changes back and forth. Open a pull request means create one. Yeah. Open and create are interchangeable verbs around them. Do you configure GitHub server? No. I work with Microsoft.NET directly. Well, it's right there. I mean, yeah, I do. Twitch ads. Are the ads playing right now? It's not showing me that they're playing. It's showing me the pre-rolls turned off. I do work at Microsoft on the .NET team. Yes. So, moving on. Let me jump over to my main branch. Pull the upstream main. Let's clear up my stuff here a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Pull the upstream branches. Yep. And there's 0.5. Ready for us to build. You mean the company, Microsoft, and their organization? Yep, I do. I work for them. And I'm a nice guy. Can you believe it? I'm a nice guy that listens to all the things that are going on and helps folks. So, what can I tell you? Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm trying to keep an eye on notifications over here. I should get TagZap running locally here so that I can bring in messages, show them on screen. Oh, Blue Sky is another one that Tags App's hooked up to. So, moving on. Can you intrusively ask me salary? You can ask, and the answer is, I'm not going to tell you. I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to tell you. That's... And ask me anything is something that I do here, and that's not something I discuss. Any plan for a project using Maui? Not right now, no. I've tried to dive into doing a project with Maui a couple times on stream, and something else interesting comes up, and it's like, I'd rather go do that thing over there. I want to pivot. Yeah, stop. I told you to stop earlier. You were supposed to stop. Like, stop the
Junie
stop.
_Van_S just resubscribed for 46 months.
46 months. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that support. Thank you so much, my friend. That's the Junie Van_S. Ask me some stuff, not other stuff. You can ask me anything you want. I'm allowed to say no, I'm not going to answer that. I will typically answer any question about the tech community that you might want to ask. I'll answer questions about Twitch. I'll answer questions about my interactions with St. Jude and other charities. You ask me questions about my family and personal information that will help identify me? No. I don't think you realize how transparent I am on compared to other streamers on this platform. I don't use a screen name. My full name, profile, and job, where I work, who I work for, are publicly available. There are some things that I'm sorry I'm not going to share. I'm happy to share all kinds of things. I talk about the fact that I visit various universities all throughout the fall, and it's amazing. We have a great time, and I talk about and share some of those experiences. But there are some things that I just don't share. I don't share my daughter's names. I don't share my wife's name. The fact is, here's something that I need to make sure that folks in chat, you need to know. It's been a while since it happened, but I've received death threats because I work at Microsoft. I blew them off, thought nothing of it, but that comes with my job. It's not acceptable, but I keep stuff private, and I don't share that, but it does happen. Public life, personal life, and a private life. Yes, totally. Like, these things do happen. There are people out there who can't control their emotions. There are people out there who are not entirely friendly. There are people out there who quite frankly, hate some of me and some of the folks that I work with. And they have their reasons for that. And that's fine. I'm not going to tell them that they're right or wrong. You can live your life the way that you want to. But when your life affects mine, that's a problem. And it hasn't. I've had folks call me all kinds of names. I've had folks assert that I was a criminal. I've had all kinds of nonsense happen. We need to be protective of ourselves when you put yourself on the internet. And that's that. That's all. So yes, fighting chess. I'm happy to answer all kinds of stuff about the public and the public tech community. Totally happy to talk about those things. I will talk about all kinds of Microsoft questions and things that are going on there as much as I can. I've gotten into trouble because I've done that. I'm totally happy to answer your questions. But there is a line that, sorry, I'm not going to answer. And that's okay. if you'd like to go and ask other streamers how much they make, go for it. I choose not to answer that question. And I don't take offense to it. I do have concerns when people say, oh, gosh, you should be answering that question. No, I don't have to answer any question. There are people who stream in this category who don't talk to chat at all. I do. When you worked at Microsoft, you had some friends of friends who no longer wanted to hang out with you because you worked at Microsoft. That's happened as well to me, Fuel Snable. Does what happen too often, Fovid? Sorry, context. Quick tip for folks in chat. Pronouns, try to avoid them because chat goes by so often that I want to make sure I get the context of your question when I go to answer it. How much do I make from Twitch? That information is publicly available. You can see that if you go to any of the Twitch monitoring websites. They'll tell you that. Some streamers use avatars as well. Yeah, exactly. VTubers are totally a thing. So, why do you use .NET 9 instead of 8 for this project? Asks Patrick Code. Great question, Patrick. The new versions of .NET Aspire things that come with .NET 9, wanted to use those. I also know that this project isn't going to be production ready before .NET 10 comes out in the fall. So let's use the latest and greatest and be ready for the update when it's available. So we're iterating, we're growing, we're learning. This also allows us to try some of the new features of .NET 9 and learn about those while we're in kind of a safe space here, experimenting a little bit, building and growing. Robert Tables asks, why do they put grease on the light poles in Philly? Oh, yes. Why do they indeed? For those of you that don't know, when any of the sports teams, right, in Philadelphia has 5 prominent professional sports teams: the Phillies in baseball, Eagles in American football, 76ers in basketball, the Flyers in hockey, and the Philadelphia Union in soccer, in football, association football. Whenever they get into a championship game scenario, for some reason the people of Philadelphia like to climb the light posts. I don't know why, but they like to climb the light posts. So the police, when one of these championship matches in pro sports goes on, the police will be out there with grease, greasing the poles so that people can't climb the poles. Here's the thing: they still figure out how to rub the grease off the poles, and they still climb them. You will find pictures of Philadelphia folks climbing the light posts, and it happens every time. Oh, thank you, Mix Max. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to share and talk about this. Thank you, Robert Tables. Perhaps you weren't here for the previous 2.5 hours. We pause, we talk to chat. That's what I do, right? It is answer your questions and talk to you and go through these things here. And then after we're all good, we've had a nice discussion, then we resume. We pause for 15 minutes or so and do that. That's kind of a thing. If you just wanted to watch somebody code and not talk to chat at all, like, that's not kind of what we do. They climb the lampposts to get away from the football hooligans. No, not really, Lucy. No. They do it for fun. Greased lightning. Ah, I see. So I wanted to pivot briefly here on and pause development on Sharpsite, because I think there's something that we should go after. I'm almost done, and I think we can probably wrap up and learn a little bit along the way here. It's important to me, and there was a great issue that was opened asking about and talking about accessibility for SharpSite and building accessibility features into our design process. And that's a great idea for a general purpose platform that we're building. Along with accessibility and making sure that you can identify and tab around between text boxes and high contrast visualizations, there's some great stuff there that we need to dial into our rules. The other piece of that to make something accessible is the text can't be in just English. Yes, I'm an American. I speak American. I don't say I speak English because I speak English badly, and that's kind of what us Americans do. And I get that. I also get that a large number of the folks that are watching in chat right now, or perhaps you're watching the recording, are not English first speakers. Totally awesome. I get it. And SharpSite should support your locale. Your right format the numbers and dates the way that you're familiar and comfortable with them, and also provide translations for the website that are appropriate for your preferred language. So you've already been listening to English from this guy enough. Let's put something in Italian, in Dutch, in German. So let's provide the ability to do translations. And we started adding localization hooks for that, locations where it'll grab the appropriate text and place it in there. And some of the folks that have been watching here in the stream have generously shared their expertise in providing some translations for the site. Awesome. We want to get Danish into the mix. We can put Danish in the mix. Absolutely. So we tried using an automated translation action that would generate translations for us, and it missed the context a bit. We had issues that, and thankfully, some of our friends here in chat validated that the action, the GitHub action, the automated translations, really missed the boat. And the way the GitHub action was configured, it would just flat overwrite the translations every time. So we had an issue where if a human verified a translation and provided an update, the machine would overwrite the update on the next execution. And that's a problem. I want to use automated translations as a suggestion, but ultimately the subject matter experts, the person, the reliable party that I'm going to go to as the source of truth is a human that comes through and says that translation isn't quite right, it should be this instead. So what I want to do is use ChatGPT, OpenAI, use those services to generate some initial translations where we don't have, where they're missing. And by making it set up and do those translations only where they're missing, will reduce the number of translations that we need to do. And I think we can also provide some more context to the translator than just, here's the English text, go translate this. If we can say, here's the English text, and it's used as the title of the user admin page on SharpSite, now it'll know a better context to do that translation to Portuguese, to Italian, and whatnot. So I've taken some steps to build a little console app that will do that translation. The goal here would be, we'll have that app available, and just like I pushed through that 0.4, maybe it runs somewhere in the pull request process to help fill in missing translations. And that's really where I want to go with this. Is it's a fill-in for missing, because there's things that we're going to do, and we're going to move fast on some items, and some of the folks won't be able to provide translations in time for the next release. That's okay. Let's take a shot with our AI translator to fill in those. And if there are fixes to be made, we can go back and tweak. And the automated translator will ignore those updates next time. What do you think, chat room? Sound good? Let me catch up here. Fuel Snable says each town has their own traditions, I suppose. In is it Gavo, Sweden? We like to burn a Yule goat made out of hay. I've seen this. That's kind of cool. Danish, yes, we can do that. Malaysian, we know somebody who can help with Malaysian. Yes. Would be awesome if we could turn those key lookups to a more static approach. There is a way to code gen it, but the key lookups are really fast. Even then, we're going to output cache a lot of that stuff. Source of truth, in before the Ministry of Truth. Yeah. C# or Java for web dev. C# because there is a significant development team that is constantly tweaking, tuning, and making the C# web server significantly faster. It is the fastest commercial web server available. Bar none. Okay. But the team is constantly releasing new features. So you've got full support and a really fast web server. If I'm working closely with the .NET team, is it possible to get ASP.NET Core single-page app templates included to .NET packages back to what is now only some GitHub repo? There was a reason they didn't want to include that. And oh my gosh. The dog's asleep in the bathroom next to me. And he's having a dream. And he's whimpering in his sleep. Can you hear him? Oh my gosh. That startled me. I think they were pulled out into a workload or something like that. Because they changed so quickly, and they change out of band from the ASP.NET releases between Vue, Angular, React. They were updating so quickly, I thought they moved them out. So, where should you start learning C# for web dev? Is there a roadmap or something? Head to .NET, click Learn. Happy to see the project is developing. I do some extra testing using Apple, Ubuntu, and Windows. Get lost in some ideas like package lock JSON. Yep, doc improvements are great. Chasing the squirrels. Totally. Totally. And his nose is twitching. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. All right, so let me show you what I've got so far. This is the Sharp Translator app, and I started moving some things around, and I've even committed some source code on this. I'm going to change the project command over here on Twitch. Let me see. Automating translations with OpenAI. And this is going to be, it's only in my GitHub repository right now. We'll figure out what to do with it in the future. C# Fritz. And this is called Sharp Translator. And I'll change that message to this one. There you go. Let me see here. You're building an OOP, object-oriented programming app builder for the front end. Could I give thoughts on it? You have a 4-minute YouTube video of it. Drop me a line on Discord. ASP.NET Core single-page app templates contains authentication built in, but those current templates are hard to manage and forced to make development hard way. It's a question of the maintenance of those templates. Who's going to maintain them? Who's going to maintain them and keep them in sync and up to date for each version of .NET? That's the challenge. That's the problem. Yes, Review Your Code is available for 20,000 channel points. But I have about 20 minutes left here. I'd prefer not to do a review code right now in the stream because I have a meeting coming up. And yeah. So but drop me a line on Discord and we can take a look at that later. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, okay. We'll head back over to the code. So this is Sharp Translator. Right now, I ripped out everything that's in the program, but it's a console application that connects out to OpenAI, Azure OpenAI. Okay? This uses the new Microsoft Extensions AI APIs. But it's going to go connect out to Azure OpenAI as a chat client. It's going to format the text, and I'll show you the prompt here. I talked about it briefly the other day. And I'm going to tell it, hey, go answer, go complete this thing. And it's going to return some block of text when I ask it to translate a block of text. Now this is using a GPT-3.5 Turbo 2. I don't need to use the latest and greatest. I'm not doing anything that complex here. That I need something that's new and rebuilt. And here's the prompt that I'm passing in. Don't include the original line in the result. Don't explain. Don't add language prefix. Keep the templates that I send in. Translate the whole line as is. Keep the case. Take it from this language to this other language, and those are template strings that we'll pass in. SharpSite is an open source content management system. I should probably make this a block of context to pass in here. Built with C# and Blazor, you are translating text to be presented on a website to a user. The text to translate will be used as, and here's where I'm going to pass in that extra bit of context, the title of the user admin page. The text to translate, user admin, right? And this will execute on Azure and return and present, hopefully, a suitable translation. Let me go to the Azure portal and I will show you that this is going to cost me like nothing to run. At least from the research that I did the other day. You never know. No, don't show that. Nope. Where'd it go? Where's monitoring? Monitoring metrics. I thought there was a monitoring on the overview panel here. 1 second. Oh no, it was over here. This is what I was looking at. Yeah, I can show you this. So I've been running it since December 13th is when I set this up. And I've pushed through a handful of requests, and it's right now costing me less than a penny. If I show you the metrics, right? The number of requests that have come in, and let's go over the last week. So I haven't pushed through that many requests, and it's costing me less than a penny. Okay? So I feel pretty confident that I'm going to be able to run through my translation requests at this. Yeah, Azure has a dark mode. Yeah, the Azure portal has a dark mode. It is right here under Appearance and Startup Views. Dark mode, right there. So, how you doing there, Shard FS? Hello. No, well, I'm pivoting slightly, and we're going to generate some of the translations for this. So, the next pieces that I need to do, I need to read the regex files. And I grabbed this block of code. I've adapted it a little bit so that we can read regex files and generate missing translations. Couldn't I provide the English regex file and just ask it to add multiple language versions of that file? Or perhaps append columns to it? So, it's not going to generate an entire file. And I don't want it, we're in the middle of an ad. I will pause and let the ad finish here. All right, we're back from the ads. There's a question here from Mixmax. Could I provide the English regex file and just say, go translate to the other files? I could do that, but it's not going to generate an entire file. And quite frankly, the English file is going to get really big. I want to do the analysis of, I'm translating from this language to another language, find where there's missing translations, and request only those, and surgically update just those couple of values. So that's the goal here. So there's a write method here that will write entries into the regex file, and there's a read method here that'll read a file. This isn't the one. This isn't the one that I was working on. Hang on. Yeah, fine. Ah, there we go. And all right. So I updated the regex manager here. Yeah. So that there's a resource object that has the name of the resource, the value of the resource, and the comment that goes with it. Let me open up SharpSite and show you. Fighting Chess, I asked you to share that in Discord. I'll come back to it. I'll look at it offline. I've got a meeting coming up, and I want to get something to moving along here in the next 15 minutes. Okay, this, that. So here I have these regex files, and when we open up and look at one of these, and I'm going to particularly open it with the XML editor, there are comments that are added to these, and I can use that comment to provide extra context for the translation. So the idea here is, no, not you. Look at all the translations that I have going across in different languages, and the red blocks are the ones that are missing. The only one that's complete is English because it started with me. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say translate from English to Bulgarian, and it's going to go and find some of these blocks of text and hopefully fill them in. That's the goal. So I have my so when it reads a file, it's going to create a collection of resources, and I'll then be able to use those resources, push each one of those into my translator and say, translate from English to Bulgarian. The resource description, that's the comment, the text, and away I go. Let's put some carriage returns in here because that's a lot of parameters. Okay. So then drop me a line on social media. C# Fritz. I'm C# Fritz on Blue Sky and what's the other one? Oh, and Twitter. So this opens and creates a new translator object. Great. I need to get the from and to arguments and the names of the files to work with. Let me see. I want to bring in those command line arguments. Right? I can refer to just args, right? Yeah. What? I don't need a from, but I can do two files. And I can identify the languages from the two files. Right? From file. Sure, that's good. Okay, that works. I guess that's it. Yeah, we can do that. But I need to know the language that it's coming from. From language. Let's do this. See if we can get, no. Capture a variable called from language, from the from file, using standard regex file naming. Yeah. Can we get to language? Bingo. Okay, so I've got the from and to. So we just read the resources in the from file. No. I want to read the other file. Okay. So now I can identify the list of missing ones by saying, really? I thought I could do like an intersect there, man. But I guess that works. All right, fine. Oh, wait, translate async. Two resources. Close. Regex Manager had a write that would take in a list of resources. If it found the resource, add it. If it found the if it found it, update it. I don't want to do that. but it'll... So I want to do... Not that. Let's do var... Yeah, new resources. And then can we just in here add it? So that returned, right? Translate async, what I have over here, just returns the string for the new language. So add new resource, and we don't have a comment for that. That's fine. In fact, let's just make that string empty. There we go. And now I can say, yeah. No, this is full Visual Studio 2022, running with Copilot, yes. Could I add new resx files that AI would translate? Sure, I would add the resx file in Visual Studio and then tell it go translate. So, I've got about 10 minutes left here. Let's make sure... Let's make sure this builds. I told you, yeah, I didn't pass anything into it, so it's not ready just yet. Bot is outdated. It is. Bot is really outdated. I think I'm ready to run this, though. Let's go to the command line. Maybe instead of having it write it, just to verify and make sure that I don't break nothing. Let's do a console from. Come on, give me some, fill in some text here.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Got that one right. Yeah, go ahead, build that. Don't care. Okay. Let's give it a try. Where is it? Let's split horizontal. There we go. Let's go into it's in the web folder, right? And it's in locales. There they are. All right, I'm going to copy over just to get it here local and make it a little bit easier. Sharp translator, bin, no. Yep, bin. Okay, so now I have the exe here. Show me the list of files again. So I want to run Sharp Translator. Let's start with shared resource en resx. And let's try the Bulgarian one. What? Because I didn't bring everything over. Okay, fine. Oh. No. There we go. All right, there's all the nonsense here. Try and run that again. Now, were those all the files that we were looking for? Come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12.
And then?
And I think we got something. I think we got something here. So, let's tell it to try and do the update. Let me copy that back over. Feels bad, man. Really? Yeah, I know. And let's do the Bulgarian. Reopen that. No. I don't think it wrote it. Did I actually build it? Wait a sec.
And then?
No end then. No, I didn't rebuild it. Yeah. Do the translation now. There's a file updated in there. And that's updated. Still less than a penny. You were supposed to stop me before that. Yeah, let me... So that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good for what I'm trying to accomplish for this. I'm going to commit my changes. Now writing regex files. Now, this is highly specialized right now for SharpSite, but we'll set this up for new we can refactor this later if we want. Does it work for her to give it a file that doesn't exist? No. No, it needs to find a file at this point. See, look at all this other stuff. I've got to kind of centralize. But like, let's give it Italian. Just to give it one more file to look at here. Right, so this is going to be shared resource IT. And instead of passing it the BG instance, I'm going to pass it the IT instance. And here it goes, giving me a first shot at doing Italian. And now I have Italian. I don't know if it's right, but there's our first attempts. How about that? So I need to do just a little bit of initialization when we put the locales down anyway to add it to our list of supported cultures, but it's working. It's working. I've committed the source code for Sharp Translator. This uses an Azure OpenAI model. All right? And, right, I just made, how many? 36 requests in the last little bit here. It's costing me nothing to do that. All right, friends? But I do need to wrap up. I do need to call it here. I'm a little bit late for a meeting, but they know that I'm coming. Am I interested in Advent of Code? No. Advent of Code is a great puzzle. It's a great bit of base content for other folks that don't have ongoing interesting projects that they want to share with folks. Let them go do that. I'm not going to steal their content. That's a great bit of content that other folks can work on. I will let other folks talk about, present, and work on Advent of Code. I don't need to work on their content. Let them do their own thing. And enjoy that. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not opposed to it. I don't think it's a bad thing. But it's something that other folks can work on and make content for their streams. Let me get you connected. Let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network that I can set you up with, because I need to get to a phone call, a meeting. I'm going to get you rated into... who else do we have here? You know what? Anna raided us the other day. We're going to go raid Anna. Anna Sasdev. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be writing more code. We're going to take some of the output from our translator and we're going to start loading it in and figuring out how to automate it and getting it part of our next release. We'll start planning and talking about what's going to be in the 0.5 milestone, and we'll discuss those next features that we want to build together. Make sure you check out SharpSite, sharpsite.org. You can see more about it there. This is a place for you to participate and learn as we're building code together. Thanks so much for watching. Get ready to say hi to Anna, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. I wish you good health and good coding.